I was thinking that I might be sharing the floor with our wonderful culturally diverse music outside, which is actually quite topical because my presentation is indeed about world music education. So, how did the divine spark of creation begin? For me, the Hubble Space Telescope and its successes and the marvellous accelerating science will tell it brilliantly. But whatever, the lightning flash of creation and the desire to create is in all mankind. My company, A Magic Tree of Music, puts into practice a lot of my PhD thesis work. That is, the study of cross-cultural music can enhance creativity in children. So I'd like you to consider this. The Torrance tests of creative thinking have shown a decline in fluency, flexibility and originality in the last 40 years from studies that were done in the US. How can music education, and in particular world music education, help to change this? I believe that my workshop program may offer some solution. In a 6-month period, I worked with a group of children in a series of specifically designed world music workshops. The workshops were aimed to develop their musicality, but in particular their creativity. The children explored 3 different styles of music, in particular West African djembe, Javanese gamelan and Hindustani tabla. And it was supported by a variety of movement, storytelling, something we've heard quite a bit of today, and visual art activities. But improvisation was a key element. How was the children's musical and general creativity influenced by the workshops? So I used Webster's measure of creative thinking in music and also the Torrance tests of creative thinking, the verbal battery, to assess this, as well as a number of qualitative methods. Given the findings that a synergy of 7 key themes contributed to the creative behaviour in the children, I designed a pedagogical framework which supports the children's creative development. All of the children, in fact, increased their scores in musical extensiveness, which, according to Webster, is a measure of their creative fluency. And their motivation, confidence, and ability to fluently create was so noticeably improved that the mean score, the average score for the group, doubled. With the Torrance tests of creative thinking, the verbal battery, the children's fluency, flexibility and originality was measured, but not just in the musical domain. And here, the average for the group workshops, post-workshops, was in fact a 15% increase in their general creative thinking. So I've been able to link the effect of cross-cultural music learning and characteristics of general creativity. Also, from this, design of a creativity framework, which incorporates a number of cross-cultural music traditions, where a synergy of factors supports and enhances children's creativity. So I asked the children to explain the music just played to someone who had just heard, or never heard, these pieces before. Something they did that for the first time. And I asked them to make a drawing showing structure, rhythm and melody. I also asked, what does the whole piece mean to you? And notice how this picture demonstrates this little girl was able to metaphorically describe her thoughts and feelings, the chords, the beat, the tune. I found 7 key themes emerge from these workshops, and storytelling was an important element, allowing the children to draw on metaphorical thinking and to spark their imaginations. The children also used a number of learned patterns which were then elaborated, a key component of a number of the world musics we used. The children were experimenting to explore different types of rhythms, sounds and combinations of those with these musics. Now, today we've heard a lot about tolerance of uncertainty and how it can be important to creativity. The workshops used a supportive balance of familiarity, but also an exploration of the unknown. So, a number of researchers, Runco and Chand, Sternberg and Lubart, and many others, have identified motivation as important for creativity, in particular intrinsic motivation. And therefore I worked to emphasise children's confidence and motivation in this regard. Sometimes individual children influence the group's creativity and improvisational activities, but at other times a group came together and produced a brilliant synergy in their group improvisations. We know that children learn to understand their culture's music from a young age, the enculturation process. But acculturation also occurred. For example, one girl used her newly found djembe rhythms to later help her learn a new Latin rhythmic piece. And after the workshop program, there was a noticeable increase by the children to engage and participate with new instruments and music. There was also an increase in the children's confidence in playing and creating music in general, a renewed interest in their existing music making. So I'm very encouraged by the results of this 6-month pilot workshop, and I'm looking forward to continuing to work nationally and internationally with further groups of children and the dream of sparking their creativity. Thank you.